All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are joining us from today. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time yesterday. So, I want to say welcome to day 2 of our Generative AI Bootcamp, the AI revolution, skills, tools, and strategies to thrive in the future. Like I mentioned yesterday, this session is about productivity. How do you enhance your productivity? It is about creativity, using the power of AI to be much more creative. AI will 10x your creativity and your productivity. And so, in this whole space of being able to generate in abundance more than ever before, with this new ability of being able to do in minutes what usually would take us days to achieve, how do you monetize your productivity? This is what we are going to continue with today. And this morning, ladies and gentlemen, I want us to begin from a very, very important part of AI and generative AI. That is the aspect of prompt engineering. I want to ensure that everybody is able to chat. Again, as always. All right, so everyone can chat. The chat box is open for anyone who would want to say something. We are going to be looking at another very interesting side of today's class. Before David comes in, let's go on. We are going to look at prompt engineering. Examples of poor prompts and detailed prompts. We did that a little bit yesterday. But before we go on to talking about this and others, the question, first of all, is what is prompt engineering? A prompt is a command that you give to the system, that you give to the model on what you want it to do. It is an instruction. It is a request. And based on that, it will act on what you have asked it to do, giving you an output that is bespoke to your need. I'm going to be showing us a lot of things on ChatGPT that you probably did not know before now. Instead of putting my notes together, I decided to actually allow you see how I do it so that we learn from how I do my prompting. Now, I could have gone online to check what is prompt engineering. I have notes on that, but I decided to do it afresh. So this is what I have done this morning. I did ask ChatGPT, what is prompt engineering? And there are shortcuts in ChatGPT that a lot of people do not know. For instance, when you say when you ask a question and you say to ChatGPT, please pay attention to this, ELI 5, you are saying to ChatGPT, explain like I am 5. You always do that with a forward slash, okay? Explain like I am 5, and ChatGPT will give you that. Over here, I have said, what is prompt engineering? / explain like I am 10. And he said, great question. Let's break it down in ELI 10, explain like I'm 10 style. And it went on to say, imagine you have a super smart robot friend that can do almost anything, write stories, solve maths, explain science, or design websites. But the robot doesn't know what you want unless you ask in the right way. When it comes to these models, it is not about what you ask, it is about how you ask. And it says prompt engineering is just learning how to ask your robot friend the right question so it gives you the best, most useful answer. What this says is there are answers that are not useful. There are answers that are not exactly what you need. And know this, models that you use, they can give you wrong answers. That is why you don't have to take what they have given you, hook, line, and sinker, everything word for word. You need to give it that your human input. You need to read through it and make your corrections. That is where sometimes your expertise in a particular field comes in to judge what ChatGPT has written. That is why yesterday I said I had a session with a group of medical people, and I said, do not take the recommendations of ChatGPT or these models without a medical expert looking at them so that expert judgment, human judgment will come into it. So this is what ChatGPT gave. So in simple words, prompt engineering equals asking smart questions to get smart answers. It is like being a teacher giving instructions to a student or a boss, giving clear instructions or directions to an assistant. Now, ChatGPT is asking me, as you get better at it, you can use prompt engineering for business, marketing, data analysis, coding, or creative work by telling the AI exactly what to do. Now, watch this. This is explaining it like I am 10. Let's come here and say, ChatGPT, explain like I'm 5. Take it down. I just copied and did it, paste, and put it 5. Now, please take note of how it will further deconstruct it and make it even much more intelligible. That is, now imagine you have a magic genie that can answer any question or do any task. Okay, the genie will always listen to you, but how you ask matters. If you say, make me food, the genie might bring you something random like soup. If you say, make me a cheese pizza with extra olives cut into 8 slices, served hot, the genie brings you exactly what you wanted. Again, ladies and gentlemen, it is not what you ask, but how you ask. That's prompt engineering, learning how to ask clearly and specifically so the AI gives you the best answer. In simple terms, prompt, the instructions you give. Engineering, making those instructions precise and effective. This is prompt engineering. So, prompt engineering is the skill of giving clear, detailed instructions to AI so it works like a professional assistant. And it says, would you like me to now give you a few real world examples of prompt, bad versus good in marketing, data analysis, or business, so you can see the difference clearly? Now, this is in prompting. You can simply say yes or go ahead. It is also a prompt. There are times when ChatGPT would give you responses and it will stop halfway. Another prompt you can simply use is continue. Okay. Continue is also a prompt, just one word. Now, for this, for instance, you can simply say, yes, please go ahead. Okay. Now you can just say, yes, please, and it will do that. Okay. Now it's telling you good versus bad prompt examples across these fields. A bad example, a bad prompt is write a social media post about our product. This is too vague. AI might give you something generic. But when you say to it, marketing example, act as a digital marketing manager, act as a digital marketing manager. That is where very shortly, I'm going to come here. You are going to see something very soon, which I'm going to show you. These are the prompt frameworks. Okay, this is the role, the task, and the format. The reason why I'm saying this is because yesterday I did show us a slide where I say these machines are super powerful beyond human comprehension. We do not even understand what is in our hands right now. And AI is getting to the point where it is even much more intelligent than the human beings. So that created them, and we won't be able to control them. Now, these are framework. The RTF is the role, the task, and the format. Act as a digital marketing manager or professional. Create whatever it is, a 90 days digital marketing plan, and you talk about the format. Create it in the form of a table, downloadable Excel sheet. You can break it down in segments of what you want. The tag framework is what is the task you want ChatGPT to perform? Define it. What is the task? What is the action that is state what exactly you want it to do? This is your task. Now, this is your action, or this is the task we have at hand. This is the action we want you to perform in order for us to achieve this goal. That is a clear prompt. The BAB one is explain the problem, what is currently happening, what do we want to achieve, and the result you are going to give to me, how are you going to present that? What would the output be? The care one is context, action, result, example. The APE one is action, purpose, explanation. Error is expectation, the role, and the action. Rise is the role. What is the input, the step, and the expectation? And of course, raise goes on to the role, the action, the context, and the expectation. Let us see what ChatGPT has given us in the last response. And I want you to take note of this, everyone. Find out which particular, let me paste, okay, no. I wanted to paste something. So just have a look, follow it, and see what framework ChatGPT probably had used in this. Now let's go back to the good prompt. Instead of write me a social media post about our product, you would say act as a digital marketing manager. Write a persuasive LinkedIn post promoting our new AI-powered resume builder. Keep it under 200 words. Use a friendly but professional tone. Include 3 bullet points on its benefit, which is, for instance, it saves you time, it is ATS friendly, it's personalized, and end with a strong call to action, a CTA. What are we asking it to write? A social media post. In that post about this product, put a call to action at the end. Now, what is the result? It's a clear professional post that fits your campaign. In data analysis, example, explain regression, too vague. Business analysis, product management. Tell me about requirements gathering. Generic response, no structure. But a better one is act as a senior business analyst. You see the specification, not just a junior business and not just a business analyst. Now, the emphasis on this is expected that this person has greater experience. That is why he's saying as a senior business analyst. Create a step-by-step guide to requirements gathering for a new insurance claims system. Include 5 key techniques: interviews, workshops, surveys, document analysis, and observation. And with one sentence, explain when to use each. Present the answer in a clear bullet point. And then when you go to Agile, what is Agile? Too vague. Act as an Agile coach. This person is an expert when it comes to the matters on Agile project management methodology or framework. Now, act as an Agile coach. Because he's a coach, he should know the methodology, explaining it to a team of lawyers who are new to tech. Compare it to how legal teams handle ongoing cases versus one big trial. Keep it under 200 words and end with one benefit of Agile for non-tech industries. What is the result? It is much more relatable to this audience. It is audience-specific explanation. You see, you made it clear what it was, how you want it to be. I have been doing some training for some organizations in Saudi Arabia. So what I do is, for each of the classes I have, I always find out what particular organizations they work for, what is the name of the organization, and I tailor every example to that particular organization, that particular industry. They'll just be blown away. Have you been there before? How did you know about this? How did you hear about this? It is because I am working smart. I have a second brain in ChatGPT. So when you relate this, bring it down to this audience, they are going to look at you differently because you are going to be using their terminologies. You are going to be talking about cases in law. You are going to be talking about different aspects of law, and you have really taught them rather than just explaining vaguely, and they're trying to wrap their head around mapping your examples to their areas. So the context is very, very, very important. Now, the takeaway is bad prompts are vague and generic. Good prompts, role, task, context, format, goal. That is the magic of prompt engineering. Now, when this whole conversation you see here all the way to the top is called a thread. It's called a thread. If you are using your model, try to keep conversations to one specific topic. You are building on one topic after the other, one topic after the other. The model will understand what this conversation is about. That is why for me, this search button, this search is a very, very powerful place for me. You see, yesterday, if we talked about this, if I want to remember any conversations we've had, I only just try to figure out what is a sentence or a phrase or a clause or a word in that conversation. And it would just take me straight to that conversation. I would go back there and continue the conversation I'm having with ChatGPT. So this, for instance, is a thread, and I'm keeping all the conversations on this thread to prompt engineering. If I want to go on to anything I want to do next time, I would simply come and type a word here, and it will bring me back to this thread and build on what I'm asking. How did I get here? Ladies and gentlemen, here's how. The power of this. These models can also read images. You saw this earlier. I took this and I pasted it here in ChatGPT. And I said to ChatGPT, for these prompt frameworks, what are these? These prompt frameworks. It understands that I'm seeing an image that has been uploaded. This prompt is not asking about the tools or the plugins. It is not asking about this. These prompt framework, as simple as that. I said, give me professional examples of each of them around marketing, examples around business analysis, product management, agile, data analysis, and so on. And then it says, perfect. Thanks for sharing the cheat sheet. I will take each prompt framework and mention a few of them and give you the professional examples specifically crafted around these areas. And then it goes on to work. This one, the role, the task, the format. Example for marketing. Act the role as a marketing strategist. The task, create a social media content plan for a SaaS product launch. The format, show as a weekly calendar table. And ladies and gentlemen, if you put this prompt, it will show you that weekly calendar table. I'm a business analyst. I need your help on this. Act as a business analyst. The task is to create a stakeholder requirement gathering template. The format is show as a word style checklist. It goes on. Act as a scrum master. Create a sprint retrospective plan. Show as bullet point. Data analyst, product management. It's all there. Now, this is the other one. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, ladies and gentlemen, is for you to understand how you prompt. My expectation is that after this class, you are going to prompt differently. You now understand, look, these are people, this particular role, there are people who get paid $220 per annum working as prompt engineers. Time would not permit us to go into vibe coding. If I take you into vibe coding on using prompt, it's just a single prompt to create an application, a whole system. How you prompt matters. The tag side of it is task, action, and goal. Again, is the same approach. Now, hear this. Now, after doing all of that, it has given me all of the different frameworks. I came back here, simple prompt. I said the ones under that cheat sheet, give me one example of each, please. Now, this is what I mean by that. Cheat sheet. Instead of typing chat GPT prompting cheat sheet, I simply just said ... cheat sheet. This is to show you how these things understand you. So it said, got it. You want one professional example each for the chat GPT prompting cheat sheet. Is that not what we saw? Chat GPT prompting cheat sheet items. Ladies and gentlemen, have a look at this. Chat GPT prompting cheat sheet items, these items. It will always confirm. It will always ask you. And here's what you can do. Once it gives you, always look at this. You have given me an instruction. To be clear, this is what you want me to do. Okay? And it is number 1 to 21. When ChatGPT is creating, I look at what it has said it is going to do. This is how you work, because sometimes when somebody asks you, somebody is talking and gives you an instruction, you can say, just to be clear, you have just said you want this, you want me to do this, you want me to do that. Is that correct? You validate what that person has asked you to do, You confirm before you go into action. That is where you say, but I did ask you. What you said to me was this, this, and this, and you did confirm that it was correct. So that is what ChatGPT does. If it is not going to give you the right request, you can stop it right away and come over here and you can edit the prompt, make it better to say, no, this is exactly, or this is actually what I meant. Does that make sense? So this ChatGPT went on to give us examples of everything that you have seen here. The tone. You can tell ChatGPT the tone in which you want it to write. You can explain the format, which we have seen, bullet point, if it's a table, whatever it is. Good morning, David. Ladies and gentlemen, we have David on the call. Thank you so much for joining. We are going to be coming to you very shortly. So, David just got in, would allow you to catch your breath, and we'll give you 10 minutes to do that. And we would switch over to you. So, guys, are we ready for David's session? Okay, Peniel is saying, good morning, David. Please, if you are, please put it on the chat box. Come on, let's make this warm. Put it on the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. Olamide said that yesterday. She's looking forward to this. Fantastic. Cool. Now, let's go on. So you can tell ChatGPT what to act as, which of course we have seen, the context, the scope, the keywords, limitations, examples. You can also say, here is an example. Okay. Yes, thank you very much for all these responses. And the audience, who are you writing for? Who is the audience of the output you are trying to create from ChatGPT? Make that clear. Citations, points of view, counter arguments, all of these you can tell ChatGPT exactly how to respond. So these are examples based on this prompt. This is what ChatGPT has given to me. Now, if ChatGPT gives you anything you want more, of course, you know how to do it. You go back. I say, please increase each of them, with at least 2 sentences. Okay, can you increase them by 2 sentences? Make it a bit more detailed. And ChatGPT goes on to say, now watch this. Okay, let's come over here from write a LinkedIn post in a persuasive tone, encouraging career changers to learn data analysis. That is just one line. Now, persuasive tone. That is what we asked. We have come here to say increase this using this example. Write a LinkedIn post in a persuasive tone, encouraging career changers to learn data analysis. The message should inspire confidence, highlight future opportunities, and reassure them that transferable skills matter. Use the strong action words and an uplifting conclusion. Now, you see this? This now goes beyond being vague, not really vague. This now has much more flesh. You have given it much more information on what to cover, because chances are that it will give you an output. You don't want it. What you do is request for more. Talking about the examples, another example, another shortcut, talking about shortcut, you can upload a document to ChatGPT and simply say summarize. You can write or want to write anything on ChatGPT and tell / humanize. Write it in such a way that it won't feel as if it was written by an AI. Simplify it in plain human language. Now, here are some examples. I'm going to share this with you, everyone. Okay, so I've made a list of some common ChatGPT shortcut hacks, prompt hacks. Okay, this, when you say / summarize long context, bullet points, abstracts, or tweet size bites. You could have something written, you feel it's too long, you want to summarize it, just go / summarize, / humanize. This is about the tone. You want it to have a role play. You want to do a role play. This makes ChatGPT act as someone else. Just like where we started from yesterday, we had an example of Nelson Mandela. We had an example of Tony Robbins. And we did say, for instance, you want to write a message, something on charity, kindness, faith, and you say, write it in the tone of Bishop David Oyedepo, for instance. So any authority in any particular field, / role play the persona, and then you give the instruction. So that saves you all the time of saying, write it like this person in this manner, in this way. Just say / role play and put in the name of the person. So I've compiled a few of these, which I'm going to share on School. Please look out for that. And you would find this really very helpful. Just like in every other learning or in every learning, it does not end in the classroom. This is a foundation. This is a prompt for you to now take the step further and learn more. So, prompt is very, very powerful. And at this point, I want to hand over to the person who is also my trainer. I learn a lot from David. David, I've sat in his class a lot. We are talking about prompt now. And he's the person I first heard from. He said the first prompt we ever heard in this life is the prompt that created the world. When God said, let there be light. And there was light. That was prompt. So all of this AI aspect of generating by way of natural language has been existing before the world began. As a matter of fact, that is what created the world. So on this note, I want to say with this, prompting is very, very powerful. It is not what you ask, but how you ask. David, if you're here, we are ready to hand over to you. Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. I hope that was insightful. I hope we have not wasted your time this morning. Yeah, God said, let there be light, and there was light. All right, so let David take over, and I hope David will now take over. I'm going to stop this.
Okay, Carly, good morning.